if I wanted to break, laugh it all off in your face.
And welcome to Inside the Cardinal Playbook, sponsored by the UPS store at 5510 Northeast Antioch in North Kansas City. It's Larry Holly, and then later on Steve Broughton will be joining us to talk about the women's basketball team. First, Larry Holly, the men's team at Drury, and then at, against Missouri S&T this weekend, a split. Drury, an awful tough place to play and an awful good team there. Let's talk about that first.
And they're possibly the best team we've played all year. We talked earlier going into the game that we'd played a lot of great teams, Northwest Missouri State and Newman and Indianapolis and Wisconsin Parkside. And so we've played a very good schedule, both non-conference and in the league. But when Drury played here, there was a real feeling amongst our coaching staff that that was probably the best team that we'd played because they shoot the ball well, they play so hard at the offensive end to get people open, they share the ball very well. And then they just play their tails off at the defensive end. Right. So it's a complete team. Now they don't have a big physical inside low post, center, but man, they play their tails off. They've got 4 losses on the year, 2 in first semester, I think, in Vegas, and then 2 close losses in the league. So they could be undefeated as far as that goes. So yeah, they're an outstanding team, but we didn't step up and compete in the first half, and that's what disappointed me. We were down 51-29. I could have used all of our timeouts in the first half. They just had more energy than us, played harder than us, and that's what was disappointing to me is that we didn't step up and really compete.
Alex Hall, it was his senior night. He came out as if he wanted to set the world on fire. He did. He had 23 first-half points, and he's a special player.
He is. We did a really nice job on him here. I'm not even sure what he scored here. I think it was mostly from the free throw line, and Devontae Bell had done a really nice job. Well, first play of the game, one of our starters forgot a defensive assignment, and there he is shooting an uncontested 3. And how does that happen? And some of our guys just weren't focused and ready to play, and he's a great player, but we gave him a lot of open looks. He doesn't need open looks. I mean, he'll make shots with people hanging on him, but we lost him a few times, and that's it's inexcusable, quite honestly. But great player, and they have an outstanding team, and I think if they stay healthy and play well, they're going to do some damage, both in our postseason tournament and perhaps beyond.
Simniak posting up, and they got the ball to him a lot when Alex wasn't hitting from outside. And again, a physical style of play that we expect now, I guess, at this point.
Well, as one of the referees said to me during the game, it's NCAA Division II. I'm not sure what he meant by that, but that's a story for another time. I know what it is. I'm coaching in it. I've coached in it before. But they let him play, which I think, it's not a wrestling match. It should be a basketball game. But to Drury's credit, they're going to push it, to the point that, maybe the referees get tired of calling fouls. But it's a physical game. And we didn't step up to it, didn't respond to it. We did here for a while. In the game here, I think we were down 3 at the half. And, maybe the first 8-10 minutes, second half, we were kind of close enough to make a run. But they put it on us pretty good. Right now, they're at a different level than William Jewell, and that's the level we aspire to be like.
What's my motto? Play to win. What's the key? Logistics. It takes planning. Everybody on the same page. Check this out. This is my playbook. Serious business. Right player, right place, right time. Did it at the UPS store. Bam! High five. Color, pictures, charts, graphics. Nice, huh? I love logistics.
It says in the book we should play as a team.
Professional color printing. Now at the UPS store.
Well, it was our senior day on Saturday, and Craig Mattson and Nate Croker both honored as players for the Cardinals. And you started both of them. Nate gets his first start of the year, responded with an early basket on the way to a 10-point win. So that was much better news on Saturday.
You know, S&T has struggled. They don't shoot the ball particularly well, and they have, like us, high number of turnovers at times. I'm going to tell you what they do. They play their tails off all the time at both ends of the floor. They're going to give you total effort, and they're physical. And, you know, it was a test for us. We didn't really get away from them until, you know, a little bit later in the second half. And, you know, it's 30-26, I think, at halftime. You hold somebody to 26 points at home, you think you ought to be up at least by 10. But they did a nice job with us. And, but it was kind of workmanlike, and really proud of Craig and Nate. They've had an outstanding 4-year career. I made the statement, if you looked up the word student athlete in the dictionary, there should be a picture of both of them in there. They're the true, you know, student athlete. They both are above a 3.8, I think, overall, with their GPA 3.738, and certainly someone I've been very fortunate to be around for 4 years. Very proud of what they've done, both on and off the floor. They've provided good leadership. I was happy that Nate got to start a game. You know, he started a lot last year in the second semester at the 4. And it's tough when you play that much, and you come back your senior year, and we bring in all these new guys and who play your position. Then we move Craig Mattson to your position. So, but when he's kept a great attitude about it, good work ethic and practice, and when he's had an opportunity to play, he's done well. And then Craig, you know, certainly has had his best year is this year. He really dedicated himself in the weight room last summer, last spring, and it's shown, you know, through this year, and really proud of what he's done.
Yes, certainly. Craig is certainly more.
He's on the floor, and we've been playing him at the 3, and quite candidly, he's struggled defensively at the 3, because in this league, a lot of the teams, you know, will play 3 guards, and it's probably a little unfair to put him out there on the perimeter against a guard or someone that has great quickness. Defensively, he's more comfortable guarding a 4, a high post, or, you know, a short corner guy, the bigger of the 2 forwards. And so we've moved him, and again, I repeat myself, but that's affected Nate's playing time, along with you know, the presence of John Taylor coming in as a transfer, and Clint McCullough coming in as a freshman. So that's probably our deepest position, you know, with those 4 guys all capable of playing well at the 4.
I want to talk to you a little bit about Devontae Bell, because here's a guy, and I said this on the broadcast, I think you could make a case for him being our most valuable player. Not to put any pressure on you, but he has certainly played a number of positions, and without him, I'm not so sure what we would have done in our point guard situation here in the last part of the year.
Devontae's had a very fine year, and he had his best scoring game of his career on Saturday, and he's certainly capable in that regard. Again, he's a point guard, played it in high school, recruited him as a point guard, and this year we brought in 2 other point guards who are pretty good, and so we moved him to the 2. He eventually found his way into the starting lineup late in the first semester, I believe, or early in the second semester, and has done well. And then with the loss of Dwight for these 7 games, he's had to adjust back to the point. But he's probably, you know, in terms of, I don't know how the players are going to vote. Our players vote on MVP, but he certainly would be someone you would think of because he has been versatile, and he's accepted whatever role we've asked him to play, and he's played well. I think he's really had a nice year defensively. You know, he is generally drawn the top perimeter guy defensively. Not always, but like he had Hall, you know, and when we were playing, now we played a lot of zone at Drury because we were playing Craig a little bit at the 3, but when he's had an opportunity to cover somebody, he doesn't weigh a whole lot, but he's pretty feisty, and he's very athletic, and very proud of what he's done.
I want to talk about one of the individual plays that we saw on Saturday, and that's the, I think it was within 2 minutes left in the game, a ball comes loose on the side. Rick Tisdale was not going to out-jump the guy for it, so you know what I'm talking about now, that little short hop where he knocks it into the air. What was your view of that play?
Well, you know, I saw video of Ricky when we recruited him. When he visited here as a recruit, he was in a boot. He had a torn Achilles, so I didn't get to see him play in person, but I saw all that stuff on video, and I think he's still working his way back to being physically where he needs to be. And that's someone else that's really stepped up and played well. In fact, we've played him at the point a little bit, And he's had 2 really good games in a row, and that's going to really help us going in. But I saw stuff like that from Ricky. He's, you know, I don't know if he got the MVP award at Montville last year, but chances are if he doesn't get hurt, they probably go to the national tournament. And outstanding young man, again, has done everything we've asked. We've played him out of position. He's a point guard. We've played him at the 2 all year. And at 5'8", you know, you're a little undersized for a point guard, but you're really undersized for a wing. And that's probably, I'm not saying it's a mistake because we wanted him on the floor, and with Dwight was going to be the starter. We had to find playing time for him, and he struggled with that a little bit because he's playing against guys 6'2" to 6'6", you know, at the 2 and trying to guard him. And then, but I'm really proud of what he's done these last 2 games.
8-9 now in the conference. Now, Larry, you're into the postseason. What's the outlook for Sunday when that postseason begins?
Well, obviously, we're thinking about nothing but Rockhurst right now, but we have qualified, and proud of that. You know, we were kind of hoping to play well enough to get a home game, but we're going to be 10th or 11th, it looks like. And I looked at it yesterday, and it looks to me like we could be traveling to 7 different schools.
Wow.
Depending on how the games come out. There's a make-up game tonight with S&T and Rockhurst, and then everybody plays on Thursday, and it's feasible that 5 teams could end up with the same 1-loss record. And so, and I'm not smart enough to figure out all the tiebreakers, but we've ordered a bus. We know we're going to leave on Saturday. We don't know where we're going. We could be going to Indianapolis or Louisville or Evansville or Owensboro, Kentucky, or Romeoville or St. Louis. And so we'll see what happens.
We'll just start heading east and stop when they tell
us.
We'll
go on I-70, I suppose, and although I guess we could go up to 36 if we're going to Chicago. I'm not sure how we'd go to Chicago, but whatever it is, we're happy that we've qualified, and you know, look forward to that opportunity after hopefully doing well at Rockhurst Thursday night.
And now let's talk about the Hawks a little bit, because it's Bill O'Connor, a good friend of yours, a former assistant coach who has had his struggles this year, but they seem to be playing well here at the end of the year.
Well, they're very capable. Now they've gotten beat by large margins at times, but I tell you what, he's going to coach them up. It's their last game of the year. They don't have postseason. They haven't qualified, so it's going to be their postseason championship game. And it's against their rival, their travel partner, William Jewell. And so you know that they're seniors, and all their folks are going to want to go out on a winning note. So I hope we get our guys ready to go. You know, we handled them here pretty good earlier, I think maybe by 20. But, you know, that trip we took to Quincy and Illinois Springfield where we lost both games, they won both games on that trip. So they're very, very capable, and they're headed to S&T to play tonight. You know, hopefully they have safe travels getting back. But you know, Coach O'Connor is one of the best people around, but an outstanding coach, and you know he'll have the Hawks ready to play the Cardinal.
Larry Holly, thank you very much. Our next segment features assistant women's basketball coach Steve Broughton, who is pinch hitting for Jill Kress, and we'll be back with that segment in just a moment on Inside the Cardinal Playbook.
So, I'm my own man. I can work from home. I can make meetings, I can make deadlines, I can make proposals, I can remember birthdays, I can entertain clients, I can pay for lunch. Yeah, I can do it 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3:15, I can do anything. Done, on it, yes, taken care of. 50 two-sided bound color presentations by tomorrow, I can do that. How do I do that? I love logistics.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out. Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
All right, big hit by Tommy. On the curveball, tied his St. up. That a baby. Good job, Tommy. Took that curveball and tied it up. I like it.
David Smith to Razin. Can he turn it over? Yes.
Yeah, good play by Odell at first base.
My name is Jesse Limeculer, CEO of Belvoir Winery. The goal of the winery is to serve Liberty as best we can, to make it a destination for people to come to Liberty. There's a lot to see as far as the history goes, from the Odd Fellows to the other buildings that are available on the property. And then also it's a business in the sense that we do a lot of events, baby showers, wedding showers, anniversaries, birthdays, and weddings. We're open 7 days a week, 11 to 4 Monday through Wednesday, 11 to 8 Thursday through Saturday, and 12 to 6 on Sunday. Belvoir Winery, 110 years in the making.
And welcome back to Inside the Cardinal Playbook. We're joined by women's basketball assistant coach Steve Broughton, who is subbing in for Coach Jill Kress. Steve, good day to be here with two very nice wins at Drury and at home against S&T. Let's talk about Drury first. A slow start, but you came back very quickly.
Right. Drury's an excellent team. Their record's not indicative of how talented they are. And at the time that we went down and played them, they've been playing really well. So for us to go in there and get a win, very big for us.
It had been a tough go for us at Drury. A couple of times we've been down there and beaten pretty bad. So getting a win there, it's got to be a great confidence boost at this point.
Yeah, it really is. And actually last year we did play pretty well down there. Ended up getting beat late. But, yeah, going down there and winning is very difficult. And for us to do it in the fashion that we did it, which, I mean, I thought the score was actually a little closer than the game really was. And it was really a great win for us.
Well, let's talk about that, because you got down early in the game. I believe it was 10-6 when you took a timeout. What was said during the huddle at that point?
Well, we just felt like we needed to play a little bit harder. Drury was beating us to the loose balls. Sometimes on our press we get a little tentative, and you know, we don't really know why, because we think we're pretty good at pressing. And you know, we had an opportunity to turn them over a little bit, and we just picked up our intensity on the press a little bit, and things kind of came together for us.
You go off kind of on a run there and take a lead. Then it's close for most of the half, but you come out in the second half and play very, very well. And again, is that a confidence thing at this point?
Probably, and you know, we played well. We didn't shoot it well. I think we missed our first 11 shots in the second half, but we played well defensively, and we did other things that picked up the slack for that. We got to the foul line. I thought Jess Wheeler came in and did a really nice job, and we got in the bonus early, so sometimes maybe we could overcome a little bit of the poor field goal shooting.
I want to get back to Jess in a second, but you know, that first 4 minutes or so before the first media timeout, you didn't hit any shots, but they really didn't either, and so you kind of were at an impasse there for a while.
Well, the thing for us, even though we didn't make any shots, we were getting good shots. You know, we missed probably 2 or 3 layups that we always make. We had 2 or 3 wide open threes, so I think we were still confident because we were getting good shots, and we knew that they'd fall if we kept playing hard, and that's what we did.
Let's go back to Jess, because 9 steals in that game. I don't know if that's a record or not, but Jill thought it might be very close to one. It's certainly unusual, and she's just had that kind of nice year defensively.
Yeah, she has. She's really quick, and it should be a record if it's not. You don't see that very often, especially in the college game. And she just gives us a great spark off the bench. She plays with a lot of enthusiasm. She's a terrific teammate, and you know, she always gives us the energy off the bench. You know, she can start for us, but I think in our situation, she really helps us coming in off the bench.
I don't know if people realize it, but the Cardinals are #1 in steals in the conference as a team. Chelsea Meeks is #1. Jess Wheeler going into Saturday's game was #5, and Ariel Smith was #8. Again, 3 in the top 10. That's pretty unusual.
Well, those girls are all really pretty feisty, you know, and if when they get going on the press, I feel like the 3 of those in there, they seem to be everywhere. You know, every time somebody turns, one of them's in their face, and you know, they're great hands, great motors, and they just do a really tremendous job for us.
Also now #1 in the conference, the Jewel women are in free throw shooting. But you went into the Drury game #2. They were #1. You kind of flip-flopped after that.
It helps a lot with Chelsea making 12 out of 13, and Cassie Nicolay is a good free throw shooter. Caitlin, when she gets to the line, is a very good free throw shooter. We have good shooters, and you know, they do a good job at the line.
Going into the Drury game, you really felt like you had a playoff spot wrapped up. That was solidified with the win over Drury, and now with the win over S&T, you are in there. What's the thought about where we might play and who we might play coming up in the tournament?
Well, the win over S&T was really big because they were a game ahead of us, and actually we're 10-7 now. So with the 1 game remaining, and if we beat Rockhurst, I think we have an excellent chance of hosting. We're going to get the 8 or 9 seed. And quite likely it could be against UMSL, Missouri St. Louis, and we'd love another shot at them, obviously. And with a little help, I think we have a really good chance of hosting a game. Of course, we got to go beat Rockhurst, which we weren't very good at last time.
And we'll talk about that also here in a little bit.
This is corporate headquarters. As you can see, I have a unique business. How do I compete with the big boys? Got this fancy business address, a marketing department, distribution center, got a great team, even a cafeteria.
That's mine.
From packing and shipping to printing and mailbox services, come into the UPS store for everything a small business needs.
I love logistics.
Sometimes happy marriages fall apart, and divorce is the only way out. At a time like this, you need an attorney who will listen to you and will work for you. I'm Stephanie Shutt, and I understand that divorce can be hard for anyone, and I know the importance of a fair settlement. The decisions that are made now will affect the future happiness and well-being of you and your family. At Costello and Farah, we will fight for you. Call or visit 505-HELP and let me help you.
Let's go on to the S&T game. There's a game in which they're very good. They had a week off because they were snowed out of their game against Rockhurst, so they had time to prepare for you, and yet you rose to the occasion, and that had to be a great feeling.
Great feeling. And then we haven't beat S&T. I know they beat us the last 3 times since we've been in the conference. And one of the things that we've been doing really well lately, I think, is that we've been taking the opponents' better players and making them at least work for their points, if not shutting them down. And I know Kaisha Hall, last time we played him, had 25 points. I don't know how many. She probably had 8 on Saturday. Haley Parks is an excellent player, and Caitlin Wood and some help from our guards did a great job on her. So one of the things that we've really been doing well defensively is taking our opponent's best player and at least making them work for them, not without saying that we're shutting them down, but we're making them work, and it's been good for us.
Yeah, it was such a big difference between the 2 games there at Rolla and at home in terms of who they had scoring. They really didn't have a dominant score.
Right. And like I said, Haley Parks is, I think, a returning all-conference player, excellent rebounder, excellent post player, and Caitlin in particular, but all of our players did a really good job on her.
It was senior day for Caitlin Wood, as you mentioned, the lone senior for the Cardinals, as a player at least. And she came out, she hit a couple of threes again, like she has been doing. And when we're talking about stats, #1 in the conference in three-point shooting and in block shots. And again, that's pretty unusual.
Rare combination. Caitlin's just had such a terrific year for us. And despite, even with the block shots notwithstanding, she is a really good defensive player. Great position, very smart, and just had a terrific senior year for us.
The win over Missouri S&T as the Cardinals, as you mentioned, go to 10-7 in the conference. Very solid team-wise up and down?
Absolutely. We had 4 players in double figures, hit a number of threes, and just made big baskets when we needed to. Got a little bit of a lead. When they came back, we answered, and for us, probably one of our best wins of the year, no doubt.
On this show, we highlight players from time to time, individual players. One young lady we have not talked a great deal about, but certainly an impact on this team, is Ariel Smith, the point guard. And I think maybe I noticed for one of the several times this year how much we missed her back in the Drury game when she picked up an early 4th foul, had to sit out a little bit, but you brought her back maybe a little earlier than you wanted to. And again, just kind of shows her importance.
Right, and Ariel is such an unselfish player. You know, I mean, Ariel goes into the game, she wants to win. She's always probably our best on-ball defender. Excellent with the ball. Her assist-turnover ratio is very good.
Yeah, one of the best in the conference.
Field goal percentage is good. She doesn't take bad shots. We have to encourage her a little bit to shoot. But and such a great kid. I mean, such a great kid and a great teammate. We're really fortunate to have Ariel.
Yeah, and trying to get her to shoot has been kind of something, and yet she is a high percentage shooter.
Right, right. She knows what she can do. She takes shots that she can make, and I think that that's been a key to our team in a lot of ways. We have a bunch of kids who know their strengths and they play to those, and all very unselfish.
A roster of really 9-10 people, depending on Connor Hazelrig's availability. That's again pretty rare.
It's been good for us to this point. You know, a lot of playing time for a lot of different kids, and you know, they get along really well together. We have great chemistry, and they support each other, and it's nice.
Has that been fun for you to be around that kind of group?
Yeah, it's terrific. I mean, the kids are they're such good kids, despite being so much fun to coach, and this has been one of my favorite years. It really has.
Again, Steve Broughton is our guest here, as Jill Crest could not make it today, so we're talking some women's basketball. And let's go back to that ugly game against Rockhurst. Right. Here at home, Rockhurst took it to us pretty well, really handled our pressure well. What do you expect from them coming up Thursday?
Well, I expect them to be good. We got to do a better job, certainly on ball screens. They hurt us. We have to do a better job of identifying their shooters when we go to a zone. And I thought we tried to do, sometimes I thought we tried to do a little too much on the press, try to get a steal every time, and we kind of got a little bit away from what we do well, but we're playing so well right now, and I know the girls are anxious, and an opportunity to maybe host a game, I think we'll be ready.
Rockhurst will be Thursday night at the Mason Halpin Fieldhouse at Rockhurst, and then we'll wait and see what happens as far as the postseason. As you said, possibility of hosting a first-round game or going on the road, but that will be Sunday coming up, and that will be a quick turnaround for you guys after a Thursday night game.
But when you're playing like we are right now, we're anxious to play. We'll be ready. If we play well, I think we can play with anybody, regardless of home, away, or who it might be. So we're in a good spot right now. You want to be playing your best at the end of the year, and we're certainly doing that.
Thank you for subbing in there as a pinch hitter. You do a pretty nice job.
It's my pleasure. Thanks, Rick.
Steve Broughton, our guest. We're back with a final word on Inside the Cardinal Playbook in a moment.
I'm going to change the world. I've got computers, I've got financing, I've got clients. I've got a business plan. I have VC money. I've got a game-changing idea. I've given myself room to grow. We're dangerous. Very dangerous. This is only the beginning. I'm going to own the future. There's just one problem. I don't know how to print this.
Professional printing.
Help?
And everything else a small business needs, now at the UPS Store.
I love logistics.
Well to the gap, and that's up against the fence. It will be a double and a run scored as the Cardinals waste no time as Hayden laces it to right, and we're tied at 3. There's a grounder and it's speared. Greenwood has a chance to throw out the hitter, and she's out at first base.
Hi, this is Kurt McCoy, owner, Shop Local 365 KC, hosting free monthly networking events. Join us today. It works when you're there. Local business owners, get your free premium listing with us today. The new home of MetroFreeStuff.com, promoting local businesses and community organizations. Find us online at www.shoplocal365kc.com. Proud to support William Jewell Athletics.
And welcome back to Inside the Cardinal Playbook. A postscript to our talk with Steve Broughton. Guard Chelsea Meeks, a junior from Vincennes, Indiana, has been named the Great Lakes Valley Conference Player of the Week. So congratulations to Chelsea. The Cardinal men and women are on the road at Rockhurst Thursday night in the final regular season game of the year. And we'll have the audio play-by-play live on the William Jewell College Sports Network. Thanks for joining us on Inside the Cardinal Playbook. It's sponsored by the UPS Store, 5510 Northeast Antioch in North Kansas City. We'll see you next week.